welcome back. Welcome back. Uh, Now we're getting to the third section. I hope it's been a wonderful drive ride so far. Right now, we're going to talk about getting your business investor ready. Now, what are the five strategies that you need to stay investor ready? The first is you need to ensure that you get proof of concept. The second is to ensure that you have your financials in order. So you should have a simple income statement that shows, your revenues, your expenses, your gross profit. That shows the numbers. So you should have your financials in order. Ensure that you are saving and tracking your data. You're not putting stuff on paper and stuff like that. Everything is going directly and being saved into, a spreadsheet or a proper documentation plan. The third strategy is to have a strong sales pitch. We're going to deep dive into each and every one of it, so don't worry. The fourth strategy is to sell yourself, because you might have, an awesome financial portfolio, pitch deck. But if you're not able to sell and articulate the value that you are bringing, it'll be difficult to find an investor who would be willing to take the chance and invest their money to grow your business. The fifth strategy is to have an effective business model. That means a business model that would stand the test of time, a business model that is sustainable, a business model that is easy, that makes it easy for you to scale and expand. So let's take a deep dive into each of these strategies. With the proof of concept, I mean, without any proof that your business or your idea is solving a need or is meeting the need of a particular target audience, it is difficult to get investors who would be willing to invest money in your business. So it is important that you get the proof of concept. This is really proof that your business is feasible. It is proof that your business can make money. Okay. So get the proof of concept. What you want to do is test it on a small group of your target audience, collect data, and this would help you to show how viable your business is. Work to ensure that you get an MVP. I actually have a video on my Instagram page that just talks about MVP, right? So I encourage you to go and look for that video, and then really just go through that video. It's very, very valuable. But really, an MVP is the basic version of your product or your service that has just enough key features needed to attract, customers, users, or early adopters of your business or your service. So for example, if I'm in say let me say in the service business, right, and I provide let me say let me just say microblading, right. What I would want to do is to ensure that I have the most basic version, right, enough to provide value on microblading, to get feedback from my customers or clients who have purchased that service to say, oh, I love this service, this works. So, what is the minimum viable product or minimum version of your product or service that can really show that, there's a need that it's solving and there are customers ready for that need or for that business idea. The second strategy that we're going to deep dive is, having your financials in order. As a business owner, you should already have a simple income statement. I mentioned that. It shows the profitability of your business or the potential to be. So if you're really just starting out and you don't really have data, that is fine. You can have projected income statement, right? You could, put the projected figures. This is in the first year based on XYZ. This is the anticipated revenue that we will have, right? But you must have something that would show that once the funds come in, this is how it will be allocated. These are the expected revenues. These are the expected expenses, and this is how, your gross profit or your gross, if you're making a loss, whatever, is going to look at the end of each specific period. You want to show break even or payback periods in your financial. This is very key. When you're building your financials, you need to ensure that you are able to show and articulate that at certain point you would have broken even and you'll be paying back or having a return on the investment within your business. So what it does is that it tells the investor that, okay, in the next 5 or 6 years, in the next 2 or 3 years, I will this business will be profitable. So I stand, a much higher chance of getting a return on my investment at this time. So this is really, really very key for investors. A lot of business owners get turned down by investors due to poor financials. So you need to ensure that you are tracking your financial performance and plugging in any gap as they occur. As I said, you should not be writing your financial data on paper or in a book. You should have an Excel or Google Sheets to track what you're making, your revenues, your expenses, and prepare an income statement. As I said, there are apps, there's so many platforms that help small business owners to, have a financial plan for their business. So it is not difficult to really, really put your financials in order at all. The third strategy that we're going to deep dive is, creating a strong sales pitch. You should be able to sell your business to an investor or to, anyone that you meet within 2 minutes of really just introducing your business. If you're not able to do that within 2 minutes, it is highly unlikely that you'll be able to get interest in your business. So you need to master the act of being able to really position the key value, key elements of your business, of the value add that you are providing to your target audience very quickly within introducing your business. So what you want to do is to craft a strong sales pitch that captures the value of your business. We're going to touch on that when we talk about selling yourself. Um, but you want to also avoid overly technical terms in your pitch. You don't want to confuse people. You want to ensure that you're keeping it simple, you're keeping it short, you're keeping it relevant. These details, the bulk of the details can come in after you've won their interest. Remember that the goal is to ensure that you're getting the interest of your investor. They want to learn more. They want to ask you to send in more documents, send in your pitch deck and all that. So yeah, so take note. So you're going to use the who, the what, the why as a guide, and we're going to talk about that in the coming slide. But definitely, you want to ensure that you are developing a strong pitch deck as well. This is depending on who your target audience is, it could be a 10-slide pitch deck, it could be an 8-slide pitch deck, but ultimately you want to keep it under 20 slides ultimately, right? Because the more bulky your pitch deck is, the less likely investors will be interested in really going through the pitch into the deck. So that is very important to note. You need to also be able to sell yourself. This is very, very key. And really, as a business owner, you should be able to portray yourself as the kind of person investors want to relate with. No investor will invest in a business whose business owner has a wrong attitude or mindset. I mean, this really speaks for itself. If you, within the first few minutes, can't really articulate the sort of person you are, if you come across as being proud or brash, if you come across as being someone who, I mean, will squander investors' money, they are not going to want to invest in you. So you really need to package yourself well. You need to ensure that you are portraying not only a professional fund, but someone who is really, really passionate about the business that they are really selling or pushing. Ensure that you are not only creating a positive impression, but you live up to it. So as they begin to interact with you, are you really living up to that first impression that you gave? Very, very important. What you want to do is ask yourself this question. What do you have that can drive the success of the business? What potential do you have in you that makes it unique such that the business is going to be successful? Is it expertise? Is it tenacity? Is it being able to communicate your vision to your team members? You need to ask yourself this question on this, because this is what you are going to use when you are positioning yourself and selling yourself. So moving on to the fifth strategy, which is having an effective business model. You want to go beyond just having a strong mission, vision statement, but ensuring that you have a plan that shows really the relevance of your business model in the target market. Your business model has to be very relevant. It has to be solving a need, right? It has to have its target audience very clearly defined. And this is really, really, really key. So you need to ensure that your business is sustainable and scalable. That means in years to come, your business will still be there. So do your research to show that your business can compete in the market, obtain a good market share, and also an already saturated market is really going to limit investor confidence. So if you are really thinking of a business idea and the market in which your business idea is focused on is already saturated with so many competitors, so many people are already doing that sort of business, or have a business model similar to that, it'll be difficult to raise funding because the investor will be concerned that your business may not be scalable. I mean, it's difficult to scale if you have a fully saturated market, especially if you are not the first in the market. I mean, you're coming in months or years after someone who is the first in the market. So you want to ensure that when you're thinking of your business model, you are ensuring that it is sustainable. That means as you begin to grow, as you begin to pump in funds into that business, it is growing, revenues are growing, you can diversify, and you're able to scale, go into new markets. Ensure that your business model is one that can really position your business to sustainability. And then, again, ensure that you have a well defined target audience. Your value proposition needs to be very clear in your business model. What is it that you are really, really bringing to the market? What is your value add? What is your key value add? You need to ensure that that is communicated very, very clearly. And your revenue model, which is how you're going to make money, is strong. Okay. So if you are, for example, you are in a service business and you are making, okay, let me say you are in a tech business and you are um, launching an app, right? How are you going to make money? Is it through adverts? Is it through in-app advertising? Is it through downloads? Are you going to charge a fee for download? If it's free, how are you making money? So that needs to be very clear. It needs to come across to investors very, very quickly. You don't want them thinking and trying to figure out how would this business make money. No, it has to be clear from the get-go. So now we're rolling into creating a pitch deck, which is a valuable part of your investment documents, your investor documents, and getting yourself investor ready. A strong pitch deck really is designed to help you get funding, market your business, and sell the value of your business to a potential investor. So you need to ensure that it is a good summary of the key aspects of your business plan. Now, there are three keys to creating a strong pitch deck that gets funded. And, the first thing is it needs to be very clear. You don't want to have any vagueness in your pitch deck. If you're sharing, this document with a potential investor, it needs to be clear from the beginning. Avoid bloating your deck with so many stories and things that are not really relevant. It can get investors really tired. They can lose focus, lose attention, and ultimately they will not be interested in next conversations with you. It has to be concise. What is the problem you are solving? What is the solution you are bringing? What is your value add? How are you different from your competitors? It has to be concise. And then it has to be compelling and actionable. Very, very key. Whatever you're doing, it has to be compelling. Once investors are looking at your pitch deck, they need to want to know more. That is very, very key. And they need to also see that it is whatever idea or whatever you're putting in your pitch deck is actually actionable. So this is really key. That means you can actually take steps to achieve it and it is clear. So ensure that it is clear, concise, compelling, and actionable. Investors mostly spend the most amount of time reviewing the financial, slide, the team slide, and the competition slide. So this is really, really key for you to note. They would mostly look at the financials. Will I be able to get a return on my investment? The team, who are the people driving this idea? I mean, if the team do not seem knowledgeable about the business industry that they are going into, it is a huge risk because they're only setting themselves up for failure, right? So you need to ensure that the slide in your deck that has the team is well positioned and is strong, and your team members are also strong. The third slide that investors, according to research, have been found to spend the most time on is the competition slide. So they want to know, what are others doing? How do you compare to your competitors? What gives you an edge over the competitors? So your competition slide is also very, very key. You need to ensure that you're really putting those slides very well together. In the pitch deck template that you receive, you will already see in the template how the different sections within the pitch deck come together to ensure that it is, as I said, clear, compelling, and actionable. Also, with the pitch deck, it is not about the design, how beautiful it looks, but the actual content. So you need to ensure that you are staying focused on putting the right content within the pitch deck. As I said, it is like a summary of your business plan. So you need to ensure that you are picking the right words, picking the right actions, and you're delivering it in a concise and compelling way. So moving on to creating a pitch deck. Your pitch deck must be straight to the point with the relevant information, and we're saying, as I said, 15 to 20 slides maximum, but you can tailor it down to 10 to 12 slides for if you want a teaser deck, or a deck that you can use just at the initial start of engagement with a potential investor. It could be less as well. It could be within 8 to 10. So it depends. But you want to ensure that it is not bloated. You need to have the right relevant information in there. Another thing that you need to have in your pitch deck is the company overview. So just a brief overview of the company, what you do, what your value add is within the market that you are targeting. Your mission and your vision is also a key slide to include in your pitch deck. The team, as I mentioned, the team is absolutely, absolutely critical. Who are the people that are driving the bus? Like if you had a bus going to a destination, you need to have the right people in that bus. Otherwise, you might miss your way. You might not get to your destination. There might be a car crash. So, investors are really looking at the team. Do they have the relevant expertise? Do they have what it takes to run the business? Do they have experience in that industry, right? What makes them unique? So these are some of the things you need to think about. Also, if you are just starting out a business and you're thinking of putting together a team, you need to ensure that you have a team of people. If there are people that you're already in talks with, potential co-founders, or if you're going to hire a team, you need to ensure that your management team has what it takes to deliver on ensuring that the business is successful. Your target market or business opportunity is a very key part of your deck. You want to ensure that your target market is very, very clear. What is your target market? Who are you targeting in terms of your target audience? What is the opportunity that lies for your business within that market? Are you, like, depending on what your business idea is, it just needs to be clear, which is one slide showing exactly that. Oh, I'm targeting women between the ages of 10 to women between the ages of 20 to 30 years who are in the beauty industry. Just ensure that your target market is very clear, and the opportunity for your business to grow is also clear as well. The solution and problem slide is also very, very critical. You need to be able to very clearly and concisely articulate what the problem is. You don't want to start getting lost in, oh, the research shows this, and then having like slides and slides and slides of the problem. Oh, 30 to 15%, putting different statistics, and you're just lost. And someone who is looking at your investor slide is not really able to understand exactly what problem you are trying to face. And your solution must be a direct answer to your problem. Please do not put a problem and then put a solution to another problem. So you have to be very, very careful when you are trying to meet up your solution slide to your problem slide. So that is very, very, very important for you to know. And sometimes you might have different problems and multiple solutions that you're trying to solve. Please ensure that you are, I mean, the rule of thumb is to have just one problem and a solution, but you can actually have multiple pitch decks that have so you can have a particular pitch deck for this particular problem and solution, and another pitch deck for another problem that you're trying to solve and its solution, so that you don't overwhelm your investor. If you have too many problems going on and too many solutions, it might seem that you are not focused, and it may what your the investor potential investor may be worried that your business does not have the right focus. So that's very key for you to note. Your product slide is also very important. This is really where you're describing what your product is, the services you're offering to your client or to your user. So you need to ensure that this is also very, very clear and straight to the point. The competition slide is also key, but I think the key thing here is being able to really show how you are different from the competition. How do you how is your business adding value beyond what your competitors are already providing to the market, right? What is your edge? What do you have that the others don't have, right? So that is what you need to articulate in this slide. It's not only just listing who your competitors are, but you can also list insights about them. What are some of the things that they are currently doing that may be to a disadvantage or be to your advantage? You want to list that out as well. And then your financials, again, is very key. But when you're putting your financials on your pitch deck, you want to ensure that you're really, really going straight to the point. Again, remember that the pitch deck is an avenue for you to get your investor ready and your investor interested in your business, and to perhaps get further meetings where you can then provide more details, a full-fledged financial plan, because they will ask for that depending on the investor you are approaching. But your pitch deck is really where you're keeping things concise. So usually the rule of thumb is that you should have projections for at least 3 years. Some investors may ask for, they may want to see 5 years. But at least for the pitch deck, you should have a snapshot of 3-year outlook of the business. And then finally, they ask, how much are you asking for? How much investment are you looking at? Please, for this slide, you should actually put a range. I will recommend that you put a range in your ask. So if you're looking for, say, 2 million to 5 million naira, if you're looking to raise say 5 million naira, right? You should put a range and put, like 3 million to 5 million, because if you do find an investor who, only has a mandate to only invest 3 million in a particular business, right? You may turn them off if you put just 5 million, because they may say, oh, okay, I'm not looking to invest more than 3 million, and then in which case they pass on your document, or they pass on your business. So you want to ensure that you put a range so that you can have a lot more options. You would have investors who are at least interested in exploring the opportunity of their investment in your business or your business idea. So, what are the key takeaways for this section? Passion over profit. This is really, really key. I think if you are meeting an investor, if you are, putting your pitch deck together, you need to really show passion for the business or the business idea. This is really what will get you far. If you are just really looking to make money, investors can sniff out that sort of thing, and they really just look for founders who are passionate, because having a business is not easy and it can get really tough, but it's the passion you have, right, that would really, really keep you going. So passion over profit. The second key takeaway is, you need to ensure that you are investor ready at all times. Have a pitch deck. You can always tailor it depending on, whatever applications you are putting in. Have your business profile, have your financials, a snapshot of your financials in order and available at all times. Refine your sales pitch as needed. But opportunities may suddenly arise and present itself, and you need to be well positioned to ensure that you are grabbing just those opportunities when they come. So ensure that you are investor ready at all times. And then also, you need to ensure that you have your pitch deck ready. As I mentioned, your pitch deck is not a one size fit all. It can actually be tailored according to the fundraising needs. So if you are applying to, say, an accelerator who is looking for XYZ, you can tailor your pitch deck in a way that it really showcases or reflects the value that you are adding to those specific needs. And then you can also tailor your pitch deck to the different other investors that you are applying to, or opportunities. If you are applying for a grant, obviously you would need to tailor your ask. So your pitch deck is not a one size fit all. You can have a good version, a very strong version, which I've provided for you on this course, and then you can just tailor it as needed. So I hope that you found this section really, really valuable. I'm looking forward to the next section where we're really going to deep dive and really look at the templates that you have, and of course how to sell yourself. Thank you so much for your time.